Yeah.
We can't talk about
Mm-mm,
that.
well, Irene, man, I'm really excited. So, couple first for White Fence Living podcast. Uh, well, one big thing is like our episode was no surprise the best episode that we had.
Oh, that's
It
kind.
was like the most views. It was
Oh,
so Spotify will do these like analytics and stuff for you. It was the most downloads. I wish I remembered how many it was, but it was quite a few.
wow.
And then social media wise, it did awesome. But I'm not surprised. It's great.
Oh,
It's a great cause.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And first returning guest. I feel like I talk about it all the time because there's just not enough time, right? Like
I know.
you just get like afterwards, you're always thinking about what I should have brought up or talked about.
Correct.
So thank you.
No, thank you. I feel truly honored. And, it is, I mean, people say it, right? It's a gift when you can be in a space where you feel like you're being intentional and you don't have to be transactional.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's interesting, right?
It is.
Because some transactions are super intentional, but most transactions are not. Uber Eats or my Amazon order,
Yeah.
or, there's no other human connection with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think for what, the chapters and the individuals in this space are doing, they're feeling fully aligned with the fact that every day, it's kind of like every day, every one of us has to get up and just kind of do what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
But we're doing what we're doing for other people to make difference in their lives,
Yeah.
which makes a difference in my life,
It does.
right?
I every time I talk to you, I can see it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So let's recap a little bit because not everybody maybe didn't listen to it. So
Sure.
you are one of the chapter leaders for Karen Wellington Foundation.
Yes, I
right?
am.
Karen Wellington she was diagnosed with breast cancer from Cincinnati, right?
Yes, she was from Kettering area originally.
Yeah.
Lived over by the Dayton area, and then she went to Ohio State,
Okay.
and she belonged to a sorority with Ohio State, and it was in the Columbus area that her husband Kent met her and knew immediately it was the girl that he was going to marry. And, fast forward to you're living your life, you're getting up every day, you have children, you have kids, you have jobs, you're doing the things. And at 30, she gets diagnosed and lives the last quarter of her life fighting breast cancer in a way I've never
Yeah.
experienced or seen or could have even imagined.
Yeah. And so if I recall correctly, Karen, like she really enjoyed those times away or times with the kids, or whether it be a short vacation or a short trip, like she really valued that time.
She created a calendar in their kitchen, and all the red on the calendar were the moments where she was away from Karen with cancer. She was fun Karen. She was baking cakes for friends. She was singing in a band at night. She was throwing on a wig and being pizza mom, where there were other moms who didn't even know she had cancer. Like she
Yeah.
just did not want that to define her, She knew what she was dealing with, but she had that kind of version of, well, I can create this world where I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still living. I'm going to just do the best I can,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. And so ultimately the cancer gets her. Her husband, Kent, starts the Karen Wellington Foundation.
Yes. Hospice makes the call to the hospital upon her passing, where can we send flowers? And Kent said, oh, no, we can do better than flowers. We're going to take any funds towards flowers and send the friend in the chemo chair on vacation year one. And that's what they did.
That's awesome. And now it has just exploded.
Well, I'm happy to say and announce in 2026, we'll give our 5,000th gift of fun
That's awesome.
to some family. So sure, we'll blow that up
5,000.
on social. Yes, follow us. Wait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
That is great.
Yes.
And so I talk about it all the time, and it's so hard to explain. It really is, because it's like, oh, okay, so these people, like, they, it's like a GoFundMe, they need money, and it's like, well, no, not necessarily. And then it's like, well, then what do they get? And it's like, how do they qualify? And I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
It's just like, you always like say yes first, right? So
Correct.
elaborate a little bit more on that, or help people like me who can't explain it well, like what is a gift? How do you qualify? How does that work?
So it's a great question because I think personally that when you hear about a friend or a neighbor or someone in your community, someone you work with, and you're like, oh, cancer, like that's like, we're not hearing that less, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
Stats are showing us we're hearing that more, and we're hearing that in younger families as well. And so with that, we have a lot of work to do, right? We feel like we want to step up to that. But what's different, right? There are a lot of I'm just learning about other cancer organizations out there. I'm aligning with people. I'm doing more collaboration this year. So there are two things. We have chapter leaders, and they're in each of the chapters, and they have to work within the bandwidth and the volunteer base of their community, right? And so when they hear these requests about someone that they want to nominate because they've heard about this, again, you don't really have to have a deep personal relationship. You just want to be a person who wants to have that person be seen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I think we're in a world where you and I were just talking about being transactional, right, in so many different ways. But when you do show up, how do you show up? What does that look like?
Yeah.
And in our foundation, one of the things I absolutely love is that we show up different every single time for every single person because we ask that person, what does fun look like to you, Justin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? I don't even know what I would pick. A friend of mine told me the other day. She's like, how do they decide? And I was like, well, we literally had one woman this past year. I showed up at her home to deliver her gift in June. And she said, I just want to go to a really great steak dinner at Butcher and Rose. And then we bought her a $500 gift card for dinner for her and her husband to get everything, what you want on the menu for the two of them. And then we sent them to the Adam Sandler comedy show.
Oh, nice.
That was in town. She goes, and I just want to laugh my ass off.
Yeah, well, there's a guy that'll make you do it.
Yeah, I just want to laugh and forget that I have cancer.
That's awesome. Yeah, and
Right?
I'm sure we'll talk more about how we connected through this, but it's something that I never thought about, which is like, yeah, maybe they can afford to do it, or they have the ability to do it, or the means to which do it, but it's like they don't want to think about it. They don't want to plan it. How do they think? Like we were talking about moms, right? And how they're just like take care of everybody. And it's funny because in my house, my daughter's always like, why is it always dad's choice? Because mom's always like, well, what does dad want? What does dad think? And she's like, why does he always get to decide? But that's how they think, right? So, yeah, so it's this particular scenario where somebody got to go on a trip, and it was like, of course I could have done it, but then it was like, well, what if I'm not feeling well because this person was still going through chemo, and it's like if I'm there and I don't feel well, and we just invested all this money and time and effort, but in this scenario, it was like I was able to just kind of relax, and it was like, well, hey, if I don't feel well, so be it. It's I'm not losing. In that case, they felt great, and it was awesome. But
so somebody that you and I connected with about last year, I still feel is one of the most impactful and kind of like moments where it all just aligns and comes together. You knew someone in your community after the podcast who you mentioned, is this like what you guys do? And I was like, absolutely. Like, we're going to do it. And without hesitating, we contacted the person. I'll let her remain private. And we'll just call her Kay.
Okay.
And so Kay, after she had gone through treatment, mastectomy, and her trip in between, she came to a breast cancer awareness discussion over at the Phil Heights Center, and she stood up. Oh, I don't want to cry again. I cried last podcast, Justin. Why do you do this to me?
We're not even that.
I know. We're not even that far in, dude. Like, relax. She came, though, this is where you hear the heart of what this means for an individual, right? You hear their heart when they're talking about what that gift is, right? They're gifts, and then there's, like, gifts that mean something more, right? You're at a point in your life where you're struggling, right? So she gets there and she's standing in the room, and again, she's trying to apologize for crying, which had everybody crying. And she said, there are things you can't tell me in my life that were ever going to be true.
Wow.
And she said, number one, that I would be in my 30s and I would have cancer. She said, number two, that people I don't even know would show up and send, that was me. I'm the stranger in the room. So they would gift me a vacation while I have cancer, which you could never have told me that would have been true. And I would go. And 3, I would be in Disney World and I would be bald and I would be laughing with my kids and my husband in the pool that I forgot I had cancer.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just, because that's what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
We want to create the moments where we remind women they're living, right? They're in this tough journey and they're in a fight, and some are really tough and some get through and unfortunately some don't.
Yep.
But for those moments, your family looks at you and they're like, there's mom,
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I do want to tell a little bit of that story because I've brought it up vaguely a few times. But so I'll start with the podcast. So everybody's like, why'd you start a podcast? Like, how did you start doing this?
Yes.
And I'm like, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't like, it was a good friend of mine was like, hey, I just listened to this podcast, and like they hyper local podcasts are growing. And I think it would be really fun to do, is to like just highlight stories and people. And I think it'd be really cool. So I was like, okay, awesome. Let's find a host.
Sure.
And that was like crickets, like nobody wanted to do it. And yeah. So finally it was like, I was loving the idea and I was researching it and I'm like kind of getting into it. And so one night everybody's in bed and like, I just recorded an intro, and it's the intro that it still plays before the episode, before the show today. And so I'm like sharing that with people and they're like, this sounds okay. And I'm like, I don't know if it sounds good or not. And like, I think people are just telling me what I want to hear.
Right.
And
I'm asking my friends. I'm not asking the wrong people.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so then I started thinking more and more about it. And as I started asking people, initially it was hard to get guests because everybody's like, what's your motive, right? And so anyway, so I ended up like talking with the Brick House Blue people. They had a podcast, so it cost nothing to get started. And I'm like, this is sounding better and better. And, fast forward, here we are, like, I'm just having a bunch of fun with it, and it's just great sharing stories. But then you and I connect, and it was right around the time I had heard about this person being diagnosed. And so our kids are friends. I don't want to give too much information, but and then I'm like, I remembered from when we met long time ago. Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, I wonder if there's like any kind of connection. I didn't think a ton into it, but I was like, okay. And then as we're talking, man, I got to go back and listen to that episode because I know my wheels were just spinning. And so we get done, and I'm like, can I nominate this person? And you're like,
you better.
Yeah, like absolutely. And so I remember I was like, well, don't like. Again, I didn't know a ton about I'm like, don't do me any favors. Like, I'm just going to do this anonymously. I don't want and so fast forward, I don't know, maybe a month, and I'm like checking in and I'm like, hey, how's it, and they're like, well, she hasn't opened an email, which sounds like is fairly common, right? Because it's you're like, is this real? Like, what is this?
Spam.
Yeah, spam. So again, fortunately, I just run into her husband. And I wanted to do this completely anonymously, but I also really wanted it badly to happen, and I was afraid it wasn't going to. So I just said, hey, there's an email from this organization. Just please open it, entertain it. And then it wasn't a few days later that I heard back from you. And then here we are.
Right. It's a great full circle moment. And I think what came out of that is interesting, when we make connections, right, whether we're anonymous or not, and like you and I had connected on it, but there were other people that didn't know, right, that you and I connected. The power of then what happened, that ripple effect of throwing that out there in the world for that family, was the story I just told. And then a continued story with you and I, because you called me out of the blue at the end of last year, and you're like, hey, number one, you gave right back to my organization by donating a space for us to do a lunch and learn event right here at Brick House Blue. And that was amazing. We had a great room. We had individuals from all different community spaces showing up and collaborating.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
Again, that connection, right? Not
Uh,
transactional.
What was the product?
La Roche-Posay.
Yeah,
Yes. Your skin looks great.
I did. I use it every day.
And so then that happened. And then after that, we started talking about other things that you were involved in. And you called me right before the holidays and you said, hey, I was thinking maybe there's a family out there. This is you giving because you got the give first mentality after we had that conversation.
Yep.
You literally called to offer me, what family do you know that might need a little extra cheer?
I'm headed up on I'm going north on 315, and I love that drive because I'm just looking at the river. There's snow and ice, and
pretty.
And I'm just and for some reason I was headed to an install or so my real job is soap and water, and a big part of what we do in the winter is Christmas lights, and like I love the opportunity to do that for anybody. We've ever since year one, we've always either donated or in some capacity, whether through auctions or just we've given that away because it's just so impactful. And yeah, and I'm thinking, man, like if we're gonna, because we auction some for nonprofits, I feel like we've done like for baseball and stuff like that, and I'm like, this would be way more impactful. And so I call you, and it happened to be the anniversary. There was all kinds of crazy. So it was Karen's anniversary, right?
It was a time when the first time that this has ever happened to me, because talk about firsts.
Yeah.
The first time that we had been trying to reach a recipient and we got a response back from the husband that this person had passed. And so we kind of sat back at the foundation and thought, well, how do we still show up?
Yeah.
Like, without being intrusive, obviously very difficult, sensitive time in life. How do you show up?
Yeah.
And you're calling me while I'm thinking about that. And you say, do you know anyone? And like just the symbolism of bringing light to someone's life, Justin, is exactly what you did on a very deep level. Because here we have this person remaining, anonymous again, who's lost his wife, has a 17-month-old boy, has a whole new world, and the divide between before cancer, after cancer, and this is what his life is looking like. And of course, was caregiving. His wife didn't have time to put up a holiday light, probably let alone buy a gift, right?
Yeah.
And working full time, taking care of his son, has parents, has in-laws around, but still feels very much alone in the world. And you guys showed up. You showed up. So you got to know what I feel like when I show up, right? Complete stranger, didn't know this guy, never met him, you never probably will meet him.
Nope.
But what a difference you made in his life.
Yeah.
That's not transactional, friend.
No, and it was so fun because like our guys are at this time, it's before we've been installing since September, and it's a long grind.
Sure.
And it's getting colder out, and the guys are beat up and they're working tons of hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we got one more. And
it was literally like days before. I mean, it was like days before the holiday. We were coming in hot.
Yeah. They thought they were done. I'm like, nope, one more.
Nope, get back in the truck.
And and I explained it to them, and they were just like fighting to get in the truck. And then we get there, and the plan was like, okay, let's use what we have left on the season. We try and deplete our inventory as much as we can, but we always have carryover. So it was like, let's do this. Let's do multicolor, like traditional. We know the kids will love it. Like, let's do that. Let's do the roof line. And we're literally on the roof and freezing, and the guys are like, no, let's do that peak too. And it's like, okay, all right. And then it's like, all right, let's add this over here. And then we're doing a tree in the front yard. And they're like, nope, I'm going higher. Like, I'm doing more. It was awesome. Because normally it's like, do they need that done?
I wish I had brought a picture. I wish I had like a picture. I should get that picture printed.
I'm going to
get a
share
visual of that. Yeah, it's really great because the feedback from the dad was just, he and I met, and his wife had asked for again because she's the mom orchestrating the life, right? She was, and she said, "We love zoo passes. My son loves the zoo lights."
Yeah.
You didn't know that,
No,
right?
no.
It was all about the lights,
Yep.
Justin.
That's awesome.
And that's what you delivered.
That's great.
Like the timing we couldn't have created it any better.
No, that's
when
great.
we didn't even know what we were creating. So
I don't know what I'm doing.
yeah, but it all works out. Yeah. No, I think it's just that, when he's in space, I met somebody this past year, shout out to Jazzy Music, Jazzy. This is a young mom also who is a music therapist. And
yeah, you were telling me a little bit about this.
yeah, so she's a licensed therapist, and her grandmother was in a nursing home, and while she visited a nursing home, she said she would see her grandmother light up when it was music day. Like the week that it was music day, it was just a whole different day in the nursing home. The vibe went up, right? And so she was really fascinated with the effects of music, not only on people who mostly feel alone, but people who have experienced loss. So part of her new business that she's building here in the Upper Arlington area is about there's a song for every loss. And so she can work with recipients, my God, I've just lost my breast. That's part of my body. You can actually write a song about that, or you can just write a song about how you feel sad or how you feel cheated or why me or anything. Like processing those emotions out loud is just the power of the therapy along with music. I think it's super impactful. Like I don't know anything. I'm not going to speak about the process, but she offers this 6 session class. And when I spoke to her and said, I think it would be really healing because we do have a lot of moms who are affected and they're always worried about the children, and the children could go to the sessions as well. She was like, great, you buy a session, I'll give a session.
That's awesome.
Yes. So like
That's
you great. Showing up,
That's
getting
awesome.
that gift first and, making it happen. So this person that you lined up with, he received this gift.
Awesome.
Yes. So he has that available to him.
That's great.
Yes. So I'm hoping that he and his son can find a time this year to make that happen. I'd love to put a bow on that too. So yeah.
Yeah, I got to see a little bit of maybe the challenges, like, so I didn't know that was a first for the foundation where somebody before receiving the gift had passed. But I got to see the intricacies of like, you have no clue how they're feeling or what they're doing. You're trying to do something for them. You don't know if they want it or not. So it's this like, you're great at it. It's just like balancing act of, you need this.
Right.
You don't know you do, but you do. Just let me do it. Just let me do it. Because it was like some waiting time of like responding and how do they, all of that. Like that's got to be super challenging.
So your point about the email, I appreciate you saying that and just touching on the process. So again, we go back to you're in a community, you see someone, there's a need, you want to nominate them. You can go online, you nominate them. They receive the email. You've received a gift from Karen Wellington Foundation. Now, remember, we know like what that looks like, right? In all different ways, shapes, and forms about the timing, are you currently do you feel up to, like to your point, going right now, or you're just kind of taking time for yourself and, waiting until you finish. There are milestones, right, during these journeys. What does that look like? So we allow the recipient who's been nominated to dictate that and then also dictate what that fund will look like.
Yeah.
Like it's just putting that moment out there. Just think about how you feel when you're planning your family vacation with your wife and your kids, right?
Yeah.
And it's out there and you're like, you're counting the days, like you're getting excited because that's the look forward. Moment. And I think what cancer wants to do, it wants to stop people in their tracks, wants them to not look forward, it wants them not to feel hopeful, it doesn't want them to be energized towards next.
Yeah.
And, as a survivor myself, I can sit here and say, sure, I remember a day where I wasn't thinking about that. I was too, I don't know, drenched in what was happening now.
Yeah.
But that kind of mindset that others can bring is what's right. And what you've done with soap and water in that gift was impactful in that way.
Oh, well, I enjoyed it.
So I brought a gift for you to say
thank you.
Yes,
I got to open this up.
I get to thank you. Yay.
Small acts of love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna open the big one first.
I love bubble wrap.
This is a first too.
Yeah, it is.
Lots of extra noise.
Yeah.
Certificate of giving. Awesome. Awesome. I'm sure Brickhouse would love to hang this up here.
Okay, that's great. And on the back, I wrote your personal little inscription there. What does it say?
Soap and water for all you do to make this world a better place. Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
That's great.
Thank you.
What else do we have in here? I was hoping it was some makeup. Some La Roche.
La Roche-Posay. So fancy. That just talks about foundation. Now that's fun, right? Because I told you we have these lemon to lemonade boxes, which are like these starting. This is, of course, for your sparkling water. You can put that on your sparkling water. But that's the version of when life gives you lemonade.
That's awesome.
Make lemonade.
That's fantastic.
You could add other things to it. It's up to you, Justin. It's your world, dude. Oh, and lemon heads.
So my wife, who claims to not like lemons, I don't know why she says she doesn't like lemons, but she likes everything lemons. It's weird. I think she just doesn't like the cheap lemonade.
Oh,
but
right.
She makes limoncello. That would be perfect topper.
Wow.
For those. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Yes. So.
Lemon heads, awesome.
Yes, and more cards to share, like if you need to give those out or put them out here. So as people walk by and go, what is that foundation? What do they do? How do we get involved in that?
Well, thank you.
No, thank you. I mean, we're not stopping here, Justin.
Here we go.
You're stuck with me now, right?
That's great. I love it.
Well,
I love it.
I did bring just a few small things to share. For updates, I have a happy hour coming up, February 19th.
Yeah.
So we can just go and be happy.
Yeah.
There are other people in our community who, want to talk about their community and what they bring. I mean, the beautiful thing is, I think, what I've learned through the over 10 years that I've been involved with the foundation is that when you start living your life authentically and it aligns with the work that you do, people lean in differently, right? Because they know how you show up. And then that inspires them to show up or to share what they care about, or, how they can add value. And that really is the true sense of community. And I was talking to someone last night. We went out to talk about a connection related to hotels, like in-kind gifts for hotels and maybe restaurants. Because, again, the more dollars I can save to buy airline tickets or unless somebody wants to gift miles or a vacation home so I don't have to buy a hotel at the location they're going to, those are the kinds of things that if that's a company who has like a, philanthropy interest, like yourself, those in-kind gifts are very impactful.
Absolutely.
And, as you know, can save quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
And by the way, your gift just keeps giving. I just want to mention to the fact that when I received your text, I was blown away with the amount of care and thought you put into not only setting up that gift, but then the after part. Like, we can come take the lights down, we can professionally pack them. And by the way, he can keep them. And I thought, wait, what? Like, wow, talk about concierge Christmas lighting service, dude.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Right. Well, I just knew, I knew that he didn't hire us to do it, and not everybody can afford that because it is, we install them, we pack them, we store them, we bring them out, we replace them, we maintain them, and that's what a lot of our clients want. He's, wasn't necessarily didn't want that I didn't want to all right, we're going to take them back now.
See you now. Right.
Yeah. So I just thought, maybe he can use them again next year himself. He doesn't have to feel an obligation to ask us and, all that good stuff. So,
No, that was
good.
a gift that was very high level gift. So thank you. Yes. But what I think this young man and I were talking about last night when it related to people, and again, we're not going to go down the rabbit hole of we don't operate, in a vacuum, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's happening in the world, right? And so people are looking for good news.
Yes.
People need to hear these stories.
Yep. Yeah.
Not because it's about me or about you,
Yeah.
but it's because how these intentional connections, not transactional connections, have taken people's lives and made them feel good and better and or give. So
Yeah.
it's like, what's that power, and why are we missing that power in the world? Like, when did we stop doing that for each other?
Because it feels the opposite right now. Yeah, it does.
Super hard, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And everyone I talk to, like all different ages, stages, right? I've got kids that span the ages like you do. And, it's just interesting to hear and see how people are processing and thinking about that.
Yeah.
And then this is what this foundation's been doing for 19 years.
Yeah.
They've been showing up and saying, you can switch what that feels like, what that sounds like, because you can put your own good out there in the world.
Yep.
No one is stopping you from doing that.
Exactly
no one's going
right.
to stop us from doing that. And so I think for these recipients, when they feel that, they feel, again, you and I talked about this. There's the people you think that are going to show up in your life, and then there's me.
Yeah.
And then there's you, right? And you're like, wow. I don't know if I expected that.
Well, nobody prepared me for
Here
this.
we are. No, they did not. But what is that, right? Because when we do get to the end, who gets to say, I feel good about these things, and not so great about those things, and hey, I've been human and made these mistakes, but I think for the most part, I wanted to lean into these things.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to be about.
Absolutely.
I can say that out. I can say it loud for the people in the back. Like, let's all be about it, right? Because we don't realize sometimes when we show up what kind of an impact and a difference it makes, or what kind of lasting impact. Or just like you're driving along, and why does that go back into your memory, that happy memory, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I did this, and I give, and I want to continue to give, and I'm that guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love the power of that. We don't always talk about the power of that, but I'm saying it because I've seen it like this past year in so many incredible ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this woman who went to this dinner, right, went to the comedy show, she unfortunately is diagnosed with a stage 4 metastatic. So she's not going to, exit out of this in the way that we all would hope. And with that being said, she continues to spread joy with her friends. She decided that she wanted to create, we have these funds, like capital FUN apostrophe D, right? And she wanted to do a living fund for herself while she was living, and wanted to see the impact of that giving, because she knows what the giving felt like to her.
Oh my goodness.
So she creates this fund, and all her friends are like, well, maybe we'll give to it. And she's like, well, what do you mean? Like, why wouldn't you want to join me on this giving?
Yeah.
It feels so good, right? She just wants to immediately give back. She receives a gift. She's already in give mode. And her friends decide to surprise her with a pie in the face fundraiser. So they line up paper plates and they whip cream up the plates, and she gets to smash it in their face, and then they get to donate to her fund.
That is awesome.
Like, what? Like, who? Right? So
That's
that's in my newsletter that's coming out, my first quarter newsletter, to talk about the happy hour and why we gather as community is for stories like that.
Yeah.
Because that kind of impact, that kind of putting that out there in the world, like who are the people in your life that do that, would throw a pie in your face, would do those things?
I think you need to have some pies at the happy hour.
That's such a good idea. What's going to get super messy? I'm gonna have to sign away a waiver and a disclaimer. Oh my gosh. But that kind of impact of here's a woman who's going to leave the world this year.
Yeah. And
she knows that, but this is what she's doing in the meantime. This is how she's spending her time while she can.
It's amazing.
So, and her friends are all rallying, and there's going to be another event in March called Celebrate Her, capital HER.
Okay.
It's at some venue in Gahanna. I'm just learning about it. But myself and other kind of vendors will be there to talk about the breast cancer community and the things that happen along the way and what the stories sound like. And there are people that show up and wash wigs, and there are people that show up donate new bras because The woman is now a different size post-surgery and
Yeah.
needs a starter kit. I mean, there are just so many things that people are thinking about that are intentional, not transactional,
Yep.
that are intentional and that say, hey, I care. And just even this little thing that I'm doing can make that person go home that day and feel so much more comfortable and
Yes.
better in their own skin. So
Yeah.
it's that
That's
kind of
awesome.
impact, right?
That's awesome.
Um,
Wait, so before you,
Yes.
so I was just thinking about you, newsletter, your role.
yes.
They finally said, we have to put you on payroll because otherwise you're a liability. So they're saving themselves money.
We don't have to create a lawsuit, Justin.
So officially a staff member of the organization, right?
Correct. Yes.
Congrats.
This is new. This is another new for us. So thank you. I appreciate that. It actually was somebody who is a dear friend in the Cleveland area, and her family is very, very generous and very private. And she kept calling me to want to create or do things together. And I was like, well, I'm doing this event, and then I'm going to this, and then I'm doing that, and then I'm doing a show for that. And she's like, how much time are you, like, this sounds like a lot, like every day. And I'm like, well, that's okay. Like, like I have the numbers. I want to like recap from last year, like the numbers of the impact, right? And so I'm like, no, sometimes it doesn't really feel like I've done anything today, but then there's some days where I'm really busy. Like it's fine, it ebbs and flows, but I'm here for it. I've always been here for it, right?
Yeah.
This is me with a friend's legacy and me with my own cancer journeys, and it's very healing in that respect, right? That feels a little selfish to say.
You're being compensated.
But yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you in my soul. Yes. So she said, hey, I really want to, I think your role's expanded. I think it's obvious that, yes, you want to show up and give the gift after the center that is the one center paid in Cincinnati curates that gift personally. You do want to be that person, and you want to be a community giver.
Yeah.
You want to be a community advocate. You want to be out there meeting with people like Justin who give and want to be in spaces to create a better community and a better world. And I said, yes, I do.
You are right.
You are correct. So she talked to her dad, and we agreed on, something that was like, kind, and
awesome.
and I'm just so appreciative. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, I feel super grateful. So I mean, who knew, right?
I mean, it only took 10. How many years?
Yeah, just a few, about 10. Yeah. And again, what happens there, right? When that happens, you just kind of, I mean, I would have gone on doing it, right?
Yeah.
Without pay.
Yeah.
It just felt so validating to feel recognized.
Absolutely.
And then another person who felt like, hey, I'm going to make a difference for her, because if she goes to buy something extra for the gift or something, like she now has her funds to do that with.
Yeah.
Like she should have that.
That person knew it was going to benefit the organization for sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And ultimately the gift receivers. Yeah.
And I think that's, we're all kind of, I think we try to find ways, right, to, in things that we care about and how we support it. Really a lot of great organizations here in New Albany that support women and support families, and even men. I'm trying to remember the same gentleman after I had told, we have a gal now who's going to kind of work on curating more kind of connection in each of the chapter cities. And she told me about an organization, Jack's Helpers, I think it is. I'll get that name to you. It's a group for men who have lost wives or some situation. They're alone raising a child, and their resources that include transportation, meals, like the things that the traditional model of the woman doing that in the life, what happens when all that just stops. So
it's like Full House. My kids love that show.
Do they really?
We were just watching it the other day. So as you're saying that, they wanted to watch the very first ever episode.
Oh, they're going back to the OG.
Yeah, and so he's newly widowed,
right,
and like everybody moves in.
Right. They're like, wow, this is untraditional.
That's my wife's like, you're going to watch something educational like I did. And then she puts on Full House. And they watch it.
That is so funny. What's the span of the ages again? Remind me.
13, newly 13. So I got a teenager, I guess.
Wow.
And then 7.
Wow.
I think. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's craziness.
How much fun.
It's something.
But you know what? That's like that version of like, it's something and it's also full and good, right? Like
It is. It's great. It is crazy and stressful and
yeah.
You contemplate life's decisions. But yeah, it's awesome. Like, yeah, we were talking before, we just took him skiing for the first time.
Yeah.
And it was great. We made it back before the big snowstorm, which was, we were lucky. But yeah, that kind of stuff's just awesome. Yeah.
Which of the kids do you see like most like you, and like,
oh boy,
what do they think of Dad's podcast?
Yeah. At first, of course, the older ones are like, "You're not doing that." No.
So embarrassing.
Yeah.
Dad.
And then I brought them in here and they got to push buttons and they're like, "This is awesome." I'm like, "See, that's why I do it."
I told you.
I still don't know how to work the buttons, but
right. Look at all the lights. Wow.
Yeah, they like it. They think it's neat. And I talk about guests that I've had on and stuff, but they're in their own worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. They need to go back to school.
Yeah.
I heard Olentangy canceled again tomorrow. At least New Albany, as of today, is Wednesday, right?
Yes.
We got sports. I think Vinny is at wrestling right now.
Okay.
So they opened it up for sports, which I would assume, hopefully, I don't know if temperature-wise they're not going to have school, but
right.
Yeah, that's where, man, those days at home.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go talk to Irene.
Sorry, guys. I got to go.
I got to go. Yeah, it's just, it's a good time for you. I appreciate that.
It's
you
fun.
light up every time you talk about your kids. And I'm really happy to hear about you leaning into the podcast, because I think that there are a lot of organizations out there. And I've even sent some people your way saying, like, I think you might want to just talk to them about the story, right? Because we all have stories, right?
Of course.
And then how does that land with people? And what do people think about, right? And like, if I have a choice to support a local, small business owner, I'm going to go with them versus something online, which is transactional, right?
For sure.
Go meet that person and be like, hey, Justin told me you open up this shop. Like, let's go. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and that was kind of this part of the discussion too, like when deciding to do this was, I love Facebook. I love Google. They're here in town. Love them.
Right.
But it's like a lot of small businesses will spend a lot of money to these like conglomerates to try and like get local customers. And it just seems like there's got to be a better way to get to know people in the community, to get to know their businesses and what they do, whether it be profit or nonprofit. And it just seems like this is a good way to do it. It's free. I like talking to people. So come on. And so, yeah, we've got some, so I've kind of like sought out a couple local businesses that I see a lot, people that I kind of know. The Richardsons, I think, are going to do an episode, if you know the Richardsons.
I do, very well.
Awesome family.
They're great.
They own Traditions Landscaping. They do a phenomenal job. They do a lot of hardscaping projects. So it's like spring, people are going to start thinking about patios. So who better than somebody who's been through all the youth baseball craziness?
I love that.
Yeah. Aaron Steiniger might come on. He's with Sunlight House Painting.
Yes.
You know Aaron?
We just had a conversation last week.
Oh, great. Good,
yes.
Good. Yeah.
I do know him. I asked him if he knew you.
Yeah, he texted me and said, I thought we were friends. I haven't seen him for a while, but I've referred him some business, so he owes me one.
He and his crew have painted at my home, and I have referred him to other neighbors as well. And he's just a really kind person.
Yes.
Very
genuine.
You get that right when you meet him. Like, the kindness is right there. And it was funny. He ran into Ted locally, and Ted came home and was like, oh, Aaron wanted me to say hi to you. And I was like, oh, how's he doing? And he said, I was telling him a little about what you've been doing, because he asked what you were up to. And he's just like, oh, I want to sponsor that. I mean, again.
Yep.
And it just, right, first, didn't even ask, didn't be like, oh, this is just what Irene's doing. Oh, how do I get involved in that? Yep. And so I just said, why don't you just come to the happy hour, and then we can chat and see what you're thinking.
Better be there, Aaron.
And then he has that paint charity that he does in Orlando.
Oh.
So he's got to go to Disney.
We'll Skype him in.
Right. That's right. Like, you're missing out.
When he comes back, he's the first one to get a pie.
Oh. Oh, you really like that
I
idea,
did.
don't you?
I
I
did.
thought you really got you going.
Yeah.
The other thing that happened that had not happened before, again, I love this whole firsts theme that you just kind of got me going thinking about. Don't give me a topic,
I
Justin.
guess.
Don't do it. I got a call from a gal who is a really great person in the community, and she works for a group where they help women. She's kind of in that genre of like self-help, like for women in the Dublin area. And she and I had met. We'd met through the RTRX that's done every year right before Pelotonia.
Yeah.
And she was a presenter at that, and really smart gal. She has a 13-year-old daughter who plays club volleyball.
Ooh.
And she calls me and she's like, I was thinking about you because I was thinking about your organization. My 13-year-old daughter's coach just got diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh, my goodness.
And I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How's she doing? And this is literally on a Thursday. She said, well, there's a tournament this weekend at the convention center. Like, they're a high-level club, like they're a travel club.
Yeah.
Sunday is Pink Day. Do you think we could do something? I said, oh, you just said something good. Yes, we can do something. So the reverse kind of order of nomination happened. She already decided I'm nominating her without an official email or anything. They surprised her. I have to share with you pictures of the volleyball team all dressed in pink.
Wow.
Taking turns reading the nomination letter to their coach with balloons and flowers and tears flowing and hugs happening. It was like, my friend said, it was just magical. It was just perfect.
That's awesome.
And she said, and what you don't know, and what I found out later that I didn't know, is this is a woman who, because she is a volleyball coach and she comes in contact with so many families and moms, she was Komen's Volunteer of the Year one year. So she, back in like 2012, was out there, the woman driving the girls to volunteer for Komen and do various things in the community, even before she was diagnosed. And now here she is.
Yeah. Wow.
I can't wait to get her gift together and blow that up, because we're just going to have such a good time with her. Like, her energy is just like, off the charts. You think great. I'm crazy?
Yeah.
I think I've met my match with her. Yeah. She sounds fantastic.
That is great.
Yeah. It's, again, that intentionality of like, she's being seen, right? And she's being seen by the community around her.
Yeah.
And they're showing up when you don't expect it. And that kind of moment in life is like, wow. Did that just happen, right? Like, so, we try to turn that ick to something better than ick.
Yeah.
But, I was just going to share stats. So for my chapter last year, I was able to give 20 total gifts. That's a combination of all different various gifts in 2025. There were 6 specific ones that were called just fun. Right, that would be like concert experiences where you receive fun money, and then you're funded to go. We try to get you very, like the bougie seats up front, right, they're really good. Like, oh wow, am I here? Like, yes. And then we did 27 of the lemon to lemonade boxes, which is introducing people to the chapter, giving them a starter kind of version of like, we're here, and go ahead and get nominated. Yeah. And then I did 4 vacations.
That's awesome.
That's the icing on the cake, right? That's the icing on the cake.
I saw, I'm going to butcher it. I don't know where it was, but I saw in the Karen Wellington Foundation, somebody, did they go to a sporting event? Like front row seats. I saw a picture of them like with the cheerleaders or something like that. Was it Cincinnati?
Yes.
I thought so. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So our Cincinnati chapter, we have a lot of connections down there. And then I know you and I talked about Angeline Wellington last time.
Yeah.
On the last podcast, the daughter of Karen Wellington, and she works with the Cincinnati Bengals chapter. Organization. And so like the Cincy hat. They did a version of a pink Cincy hat
Yep.
for us. So there's a lot of collaboration down
awesome.
in Cincinnati. Yeah, they're making that happen down there in a big way.
Good.
And like players showing up at the hospitals and things like that. So again, there's just so many ways that people can show up. And I think what we really like and what Kent Wellington had spoken about from day one was, so we have to have rules because we have to fit into the nonprofit space of the rules of a nonprofit.
Yeah.
But we can also make our own. And
well, Ohio State is our Columbus's pro team. So where you at, Ryan Day? Cincinnati's doing it.
Call him out, man.
I am.
And he's a great guy too. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
he
is.
really cares about mental health and you know, like with his story and his journey and everything you read, like he's just a very philanthropic
Absolutely.
and caring person.
If he knew, he would say yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you know, you know, right?
That's
Just-
right. That's right.
Do you have his number in your phone? Because I'm going to check mine, but I'm pretty sure
I
do
don't.
not.
I don't. We'll find it.
Do we know somebody that has?
Certainly do.
We need to have that conversation offline and find that person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had friends who
Let's talk about the
said,
impact that could have.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or on the field.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. We did I took the kids on a tour of the stadium.
Mhm.
No, you've never done that. It's neat. It's really affordable. Like,
Really?
and it's a little long. I wasn't ready for that.
Okay.
But
You're like,
so I think I think it was like, I think it was around when, I think it was the day before they played
wow.
their last playoff game. I think it was the day before or after. I don't know what it was, but we were like, let's go. I got to get the kids out of the house. We've been on break. Like, this is craziness.
Right.
And it was pretty neat. They take you up in the press box and like you tour the locker rooms. The band room was like the coolest thing I think I saw there, because you never really think about like where they go, and like to see their space was really neat.
Sure.
Just the history of it. And then you finish on the field, of course. And it's like 5 degrees out and where everybody's like ready to go. And my kids are just 100-yard sprints back and forth. But it was cool. It was fun to do.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
I had the privilege 1 year of helping present the Pelotonia check.
Oh,
So we went down the field at halftime, and
it felt like a different space from that vantage
Completely.
point. It was like, this doesn't, when you're up there, it felt like I was in a completely different world.
okay,
Yeah.
so I'll also share the picture with you of me standing behind the line of football players. Like, so we were on the side, like right behind, like where all the action's happening,
Yeah.
and you hear like the noise of the bench being heated. You know, it was like
Yeah.
snowing, and I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And the players that don't look big from the stands are like big humans
Oh,
on the field.
massive.
Like they're really, really
Massive.
big dudes, and you're just kind of like, I didn't have, it felt a little surreal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really kind of daunting down there, but what an operation. Oh my
It's
gosh.
insane. Yeah.
I mean, like people on people, and it's like
nuts.
their own little orchestra of like what's going on down there and what's
Yeah.
happening. So, yeah, sometimes when you're like, oh, that was a stupid play. Why didn't they? But there was a lot of thought
Yeah,
put
you
into
know
that
much-
stupid
Yeah.
play, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
sorry, it didn't work out.
Nobody in that organization is not
Right.
trying to do their best.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, you got to give people a little grace,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we've been on some really great wins, and we've had some really tough losses.
We're the
but-
worst fans.
right?
We really
You
are.
guys are, right,
I'm
for
telling
sure.
you.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm the worst, but I have some really stupid thoughts after losses.
You and Ted.
Irrational. Just
You're in with my husband in that category. He just gets like, like he was playing the game, you know, like he takes
Yeah,
it
oh,
with
yeah.
that personally.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I told you, like being from New York and that being my home, like college football was not. I mean,
Yeah.
I went to Hofstra University where the Jets practiced.
Oh wow.
So I not knew the play.
But yeah.
Yeah, but they had a bar right across the street, and we were underage at their bar, like hanging out, you know, and knew the DJ, and like there was a whole thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, they just wanted people to come, right?
Yeah.
It's called Klecko's, Joe Klecko. It's like,
Oh,
and
nice.
Gastineau and those crazy
Yeah.
dudes. We'd hang out with them at their bar.
Crazy.
Right, I know. That's a New York thing, though. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, I saw Billy Joel and he played in a local bar. And people were like, what the? Who are you talking about, Billy Joel? Like,
Yeah.
he's like you and me. I was like, no, he just was
Like he's
that.
the regular.
Yeah, he's that guy. Yeah.
That's
And the
awesome.
best story, I saw him at a concert, Nassau Coliseum, which is just a couple miles from where I grew up. And at this particular concert, it was when he first started getting into concert venues. And boy, I sound old. But he called Prince up on stage to play a set.
Oh, no.
And nobody even knew who Prince was.
Wow.
And that next year, Prince came out with Purple Rain. And I was just like, I saw him live. Like, I was that person, right? Like, I knew Prince before you knew Prince, like, kind of thing. Yeah.
What was your impression at first?
Oh, we were like, he's a tiny dude.
Yeah.
Is he on stage? Like, why is he so tiny? But he picked up the guitar and he played, like, the closest thing we had even heard to anything he was riffing on was, like, Zeppelin.
Yeah.
You know, just, like, killing it. And everybody was like, you know, because, like, you know, Billy Joel's vibe, and then there's, like, Prince's vibe, and they're just not the same vibe.
Yeah.
So you're at a Billy Joel concert listening to Prince on guitar, and you're like, wow.
What just
people were,
happened?
like, nuts. Yeah, people were like, damn, like, what
That's
was that?
awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I'll never understand New York.
No?
No, I've been there once.
Yeah?
Yeah,
It's too much.
way too much.
Yeah, I know. We're
It was-
extra.
Yes, yes,
We're
yeah.
super extra on everything.
It was a lot.
Yes. We have to have like names and codes for things, and then there's like sayings, and then there's, I mean, it's just so funny. I was even talking to a friend this morning on the phone, and she was talking about a friend she has in New York, and I said some phrase, and she goes, "Oh my God, my friend says that all the time." And I was like, "Oh no, New Yorkers get like a manual when they're born, and it's just like, read from here, say these things, act like this."
This
yeah,
is how you do it.
right. This is how you do it if you want to be a good New Yorker. Yeah. I mean, I was in New York just 2 weekends ago. I was with my daughter, and we were downtown Lower Manhattan. And what's fun, like for a fun weekend, for me, my idea of fun, fun weekend, you know, go to New York and see a Broadway show. We saw MJ the Musical.
Oh, nice.
I did not expect to cry, but you've met me, so maybe you thought I was going to cry. Okay.
I
All right,
could've
that's fair.
predicted that.
Yeah. But like joy and laughter, and well, you know, his story is a sad
Yep.
story too.
Oh, yeah.
It's very tragic, kind of like background, but with all that, the music, and I've seen Alicia Keys' Hell's Kitchen on Broadway. That's insane also as well. Laughing and crying till you're like, I don't even like, and the music, because you know all the songs, it's very impactful, the story of her life. So yeah, those are the things. Maybe
neat.
someday they'll write a musical about our life, Justin.
Yeah,
What do you
maybe.
think?
Be a good one.
What would yours be called?
I can't say it on here.
Can't say it on air, not doing it. Don't make me do that, Irene.
That's great.
So here's our letter for 2026. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. This is good. We have given and dedicated this year to impact with intention. Not just how many women we serve, but how deeply we show up for them. We are recommitting to the personal touch points that make KWF what it is. Moments of joy, dignity, hope, and normalcy that remind women their mental and emotional well-being matters just as much as their treatment. A reminder that fun is a priority, especially amidst a cancer diagnosis. We are focused on sustainable practices that ensure we can grow responsibly, deepen our impact, and move closer to our vision of serving all women living with breast cancer. But we do not do this alone. Because of the growth we've experienced, now more than ever, we're looking for people to be involved, engaged, and actively participate. Donors, ambassadors, volunteers, partners, championship, people like you. Your time, your voice, your advocacy, and generosity is what allows us to meet this moment and rise to the need before us. 2026 is not about pulling back, it's about leaning in together. So thank you for believing in the mission and for trusting us with your support and for helping to ensure that women facing cancer feel supported, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally as they navigate their journey. And I am truly incredibly hopeful that you are headed where we're headed and deeply grateful to walk this path alongside you.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
So thank you again for having me.
Yeah, no, I hope that I think this will continue to grow. I'm hoping that this episode does better than the first one, and more people just ask questions, get involved, find a way to, like, whatever it is, like that. That little just, hey, what if we gave somebody lights? You know what I mean? Like, it didn't take much. It wasn't a huge expense. It wasn't a ton of time. You know what I mean? And it had a big impact.
Well, I think it goes back to the question that I kind of ask myself every day. And I kind of say, you know, what does cancer look like? Right? Some people say, oh, it's a spot, or it's something on a chart, it's a number, it's a statistic. No, it looks like a guy showing up and putting lights on the house to bring actual light and joy to a family with a cancer loss.
Yeah.
It looks like friends showing up in a girl's living room with whipped cream pies and saying, sure, I'll donate, but smash a pie in my face first. Like, it's that, right?
Yeah.
We get to choose. That's what we get to choose when cancer chooses you, right? Yeah. That's what we get to choose. We get to say, all right, you know what? We can flip the script while we can, when we can do it. We are here to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the power of what you and I can do.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so one last first,
yes.
that the New Albany Community Foundation, which, you know, I'm not involved with at all. But what I found out was that there was some grant money set aside specifically for Karen Wellington Foundation. And am I saying this right?
Yeah.
And there were some parameters around the gift, and that it was somebody within the school district?
Correct. The zip codes, all the zip codes that the school serves.
Okay.
So there are like 5 of them.
And then so Kay was the first recipient
correct.
Of some of that grant money. So.
Yes. And that was a very generous family, and I don't know if they want to be mentioned, but I'm going to try to meet with them this year and have that discussion. But to your point, the first that happened on that gift delivery was, well, when Kay received that first grant, the day that I went to her home to deliver it, which just she and I coordinated, just she and I, like, hey, is today a good day? You know, came to her home, ding dong, just never met me before. You know, I'm sitting at the table holding her hand. We're talking, we're crying. Husband's like, kids bouncing balls off the walls. I'm like, I love this vibe. I mean, while we're doing that, I get out of the meeting. I go back to the people who gave me the grant. I send them the pictures, like, this was so lovely. She's so lovely. This is the update. This is how we're spending the money. We're sending this family. They sent it to the donor. It was the donor's deceased wife's birthday. The day of the
my
gift
goodness.
Delivery.
Wow.
And he was blown away.
We can't say who that was?
I don't know. I don't want to get, I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm going to follow up because I asked the Community Foundation if I would be able to kind of then, you know, talk about, like, what we're looking to do and how we make that impact grow, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what that looks like. And so they, of course, as other organizations do, they have grant cycles. So we did go ahead and apply for more grants from them again this year, hoping to make further impact with other families as well.
You're just paving the way.
Dude, I want to send 5 families to Disney. Like, why wouldn't I, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's how it happens.
All right. So we got to make this periodical. So we'll do another update soon.
Yes. I appreciate you.
I can't wait to hear.
Yeah. Thanks again to Soap and Water for their support.
No problem.
And just kind of putting that out there because, again, like, who would say holiday lights? What does cancer look like? Does cancer look like holiday lights? Probably people would say no.
Yeah.
And you and I said yes.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what comes.
I know. Me too.
Thank